10,000 years ago, the Ice Age thawed and people settled in Scotland's Great Glen. Around their campfires, human beings like us tried to make sense of the world they lived in by telling stories. And this place inspires stories. The waters of Loch Ness are indeed a mirror for the human imagination. There's a wildness in the Scottish landscape that cries out to that imagination for tales of wonder and mystery. Like the one that made Loch Ness a legend in its own right, and a name known the world over. The world has monsters aplenty, of course. Every country has its strange stories, from Sasquatch to Yeti to Kraken. But the Scottish Highlands are home to the most famous of them all. Our very own Loch Ness Monster, Nessie. Oh, there are those who'll tell you that Nessie is a Scandinavian, a memory of the prow of a Viking longship coming out the mists. And who's to say they're wrong? Then again, who's to say they're right? Because if you listen to the old stories, Scotland is home to more creatures of wonder than one. Fairy tales? Maybe. Scottish fairies are wilder than most. We call them the She, and there's one guarding every well, every waterfall, and every loch. There's the Gilly-Doo, the dark boy cloaked in moss and leaves coming out at night to hunt those who trespass in his woodland lair. And then there's the Kelpie, in Gaelic, Ikushkia, or water horse. An enduring legend, this one, and found all over Scotland. A majestic horse with, strange thing, water weeds tangled in its mane, tame and friendly to passers-by, until they climb on its back and are dragged down into the depths as it dives back to its watery home. Could they be in Loch Ness? Is that where the legend of our own creature began? Or was it the Boobry, a shape-shifting creature, sometimes a galloping water horse like the Kelpie, but more often a huge bird, bigger than 17 eagles with a terrifying spike of a beak, like a fish-eating diving bird. And if you look at those long, curved necks and hunched backs, well, familiar, aren't they? Then again, what about the Selkie, the Seg, the Maid of the Waves, Scotland's very own mermaid? Under that seal disguise, there's a beautiful woman, ready to lure men to their death in the sea. Well, seals are certainly one explanation for the legend of Nessie. Those smooth backs arching out of the water do look like the humps of a sea serpent. Nothing smooth about the shellycoat, mind you. A prankster in a coat of seashells, clattering and jangling and screeching along the shore, pretending to drown, then vanishing with a laugh when people get close enough to rescue it. But our fairy tale starts to crystallise when a real live saint arrives at the loch. Saint Columba in the 6th century. He came from Ireland to convert the northern Picts to Christianity. He had to cross the River Ness, where he found locals burying a man most savagely bitten by a water beast. One of his followers swam across for a boat. Up rose a beast, roaring, ready to devour the poor monk. Until Columba, with staff in hand and the power of God, cried out in a voice louder than the beast's, "Go no further, nor touch the man. Go back." And sent it back to the depths whence it came. Or so the legend says. The first documented sighting of Nessie. And the last one to be documented for quite a while. About 1,500 years, in fact. And then, in 1933, in this very hotel, the legend got a new lease of life.
Like we dus.